My child is watching Blippi. 10 o'clock at night and my child is watching Blippi. Waiting for my husband to tell me if I'm on. I don't know. How is everybody? Hello, people. Hello, darlings. Being in the mood for my son. Hello, darlings. Am I on yet? Apparently I'm not on yet. I'm going to lean. I'm going to lean against my dishwasher until he tells me if I'm on. I'm going to lean against the dishwasher. Apparently I'm not there. Apparently this is doing nothing. We had this the other week where I did a stream and I filmed for like half an hour and I disappeared off the face of the planet and apparently wasn't there anymore. So I like to make sure now. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Boom, he says, so I'm online. Boom, my heart went boom. So, we have these cupboardy things. Who let the cupboards out? Who? We have cupboards. The floor has been levelled. I'm going to come in. The floor has been levelled. The ceiling is done. We've got to paint that tomorrow. But we are starting to put things in, including, I've got an oven. I have an oven. I have cupboards. This is not the finished because of course I forgot to put handles on and the actual finish itself is not as dark as it looks with the paper on. We're not sure what he's doing about this corner, but because there's like a little gap. But we're assuming he's going to put like some wood or something there. Don't fiddle with it, he says. Still not fixed. I know it's not fixed. I'm not fiddling with it too much. I'm just going, I have an oven. I have an oven. Let me rejoice that I have an oven. That's for my husband. Anyway, so yeah, I've got to learn how to work this oven at some point. So if anybody's got this oven, I should really read the instructions while it's not plugged in, so I can learn to use it before it gets to the stage where I'm going, I don't know how to use the oven. But I'm assuming this is like a timer, and I'm assuming this is like a temperature because you just press the button. So I don't know, but this is my oven. I have an oven. I have an actual oven. It's not plumbed in yet, but I have an oven. As says, I have units. We have cupboards. I don't know what we're going to do with this gap here. I think he's going to put a bit of wood in. But we have units going all the way around. I'm going to have a lot more space to put things. I even have a cupboard underneath with shelves in and everything. I have cupboards. They're not all fully fitted yet. As says, we've still got a paint in here. We're going to spend the weekend doing some painting. A couple of the walls were done a couple of days ago, and we were told to wait, well, last week really, and we were told to wait till this weekend before touching them to let the plaster dry properly. And some bits have dried absolutely fucking amazingly. Like the ceiling's absolutely amazing, but other bits are still quite damp. So we're going to kind of leave that a little bit longer. So I'm going to whitewash the ceiling. I might whitewash the wall where the radiator's going and do where the radiator's going because there's nothing I can do about that. And then let the rest dry out, if you know what I mean. Pipeworks are in. All the piping's in. This is our dishwasher. These are, I'm going to turn this around, so excuse me while I turn you all around. This is the unit height when it comes up. This is going to be our extractor fan, our extractor hood. What's in the hood? An extractor. What's good in the hood? An extractor. And as you can see, the cupboards are Wickes' Chester cupboards. So they're like an off-grey colour. The interiors are white, and the actual cupboard doors themselves are on off-grey. And the units that they go into are white. So what we're going with in here is we're going to have the grey and the white, and then like black fixtures and fittings as well. So we're going to have grey, black and white basically, and then the wall's going to be the pop of colour with the bright green. We've got Steve's tools everywhere. I'm going to steal his tools. So excuse me while I sneeze because there's a lot of dust in here. Excuse me. So yeah, we have things going in and what looks like an oven and cupboards. Excuse me. And ceilings and things that we can do. As I said, we've got a dishwasher in here. It's ready to go in. This is our dishwasher. It just needs unpacking. So yeah, we're getting there. We're going to have black worktops. So that's what I'm saying. It kind of fits it all together because the units are this grey colour with the sides being this kind of white. There's going to be the green on the wall. And then the black tops, the black oven. We've got a white fridge freezer, white appliances like kettles and things like that. So it'll be fine. It'll all work. We've got the 2 lights still to go in yet. I've got some black floating shelves that are going over in this corner. I think I'm going to get Eno to possibly use the sticky stuff to put them on the wall instead of drilling them into the wall. But I can talk to Steve, see if he'll drill them if necessary. But because we've also got a clock to put up here, which I'll go and show you in a minute, but there's a clock going up here. This is our radiator. This is going to be our new, if I can show you, our new little radiator. So this is going to be our tiny little radiator, which will really, really help this room because the problem is with this room is in winter, it's at the back of the house, and where the sunlight comes across, we don't get any sunlight into here. I'm going to take you into the other room. And because of that, it becomes a bit of a problem in winter because it gets quite cold. So we need the radiator, but the radiator they had in there before was like humongous. We can now get into the dining room. Our dining room is starting to look like normal again, almost. It's not normal, but you know what I mean. It's starting to get there. This is the clock, if I can show you. We bought a metal clock that's black. So, I can't bloody hold it up. But yeah, we've got a metal clock that's black. And that's going on the back wall. So, again, we're sticking with that kind of green, with the kind of black, grey, white, and then the pop of colour with the green. Still got my kitchen set up in here going off. And we've actually had some shopping today. Because diet-wise, I've been eating so much bloody takeaway, I gained 4 pounds this week. But I bought a ton of Slimming World bars the other week, as everybody knows, and I'm kind of sat here going, I need to get my ass back into gear. So I'm going to enjoy my weekend because we're already screwed this weekend anyway. So I'm going to eat what I've got planned for this weekend and enjoy my last weekend of freedom. And then Monday morning, I bought so much salad and things like that that's going to be it now. Salad or us. I'm going to be eating salad because my goal was to get into the next stone bracket, if you know what I mean. And because I've put £4 back on, I'm now at something, rather than, into the down stone. So I want to get rid of the ones and twos, but I'm now in like the fours, but I want to go back down to the ones and twos and then into the next, the something 13s. Eat it, don't eat it. You can sod off. He's being a cheeky boy. We're noticing a lot that a lot of people kind of like these vlogs, but they like them after the fact. They don't seem to actually like watching me live. So because of that, I am going to, when I get some time in the next few weeks, they are being sent over to my YouTube channel, which is Dan's Wonderland on YouTube, but I'm not uploading them yet. I'm going to do some editing and sort some things out and, you know, do some of that kind of stuff over the next few weeks. Once the kitchen's done properly, I will edit things together and have it as one big kitchen blog that's on YouTube. And, you know, kind of do it that way if possible. If not, then I'll split it into two, you know what I mean, vlogs, and make it 2 vlogs on YouTube. But we've got enough footage that, and some of it's irrelevant to go on YouTube. Some of it's just Twitch stuff, chatting to people on Twitch, which is kind of cool. I love chatting to you guys. That's really cool. But yeah, it's kind of that thing of I need to make sure that I move them somewhere where they can be watched later, because clearly, oh God, so much dust up my nose from that kitchen. Sorry. So clearly, I'm going to sneeze in a second. If I sneeze, I apologise now. I'm going to get some tissue ready. But yeah, clearly this is working out more as a vlog experience than a Twitch experience. But I wanted to Twitch it for the reason being of I wanted to capture that kind of liveness of it, if you know what I mean. And this is what we're going through right now. I didn't feel if I edited it too much, you'd feel that, if that makes sense. Whereas now I can edit things down and make them that way for YouTube. And I can, once this kitchen's put in, go back to, you know, gaming and doing things, readings and things maybe, that are more Twitch friendly on my Twitch service. But I really wanted to Twitch this kitchen, and I've been enjoying twitching the kitchen. But as we are noticing that for some strange reason I get absolutely no viewers except maybe 1 or 2 while I'm doing it, and then like 20 people watching me after the fact. And I'm like, I can't be that interesting. If only the kitchen fitter took lunch, you could stream the kitchen at lunchtimes. I know. The problem is we've got a kitchen fitter who I still swear blind is a robot. I swear. He lives literally, like my husband, lives off coffee. Yeah, he's a coffee-powered android, as Leo's just said. He literally lives off coffee. He comes in at like 8:30 in the morning and then has like 3 or 4 coffees during the day. And I keep saying to Leo, give him coffee. Keep giving him more coffee. For fuck's sake. Because he's not eating. He doesn't eat anything. He doesn't go to the bathroom. He doesn't do anything. He just drinks coffee. And he'll be here till like, sometimes like late in the afternoon. And he hasn't gone to the bathroom or eaten anything. And I'm like, go home. Go to the bathroom, have some food. You know, you're welcome to have something with us because I don't cook that shit of food. You know what I mean? And, you know, even if it's just like, you know, chips and egg, you're welcome to have some, you know. He's not interested. It's not bothered. He doesn't eat during the day. Apparently he eats quite a big breakfast and then goes back in the evening and has a large evening meal, which we try and do kind of the opposite. We kind of have something for breakfast. Well, Leo and Dylan have something for breakfast. I don't. It's generally like Leo has a breakfast, Dylan has like fruit and yoghurt. I can't be bothered, which is why I bought the hi-fi bars, because it's sometimes occasionally, if I do get peckish in the morning, I can have one of them. And then lunchtime comes along and we try and have a big lunch. And we try and do the bigger meal at lunchtime. Dylan's at school anyway, so he gets given a school dinner. And then the evening we would try and eat light. Yeah, if Uncle Roger saw what we give Dylan sometimes, he'd say he's adopted. Let's just put it that way. Because Dylan often has things like cheese on toast for tea and things like that, because we've had a big meal at lunchtime and we don't want it. But occasionally we have a larger meal in the evening, but most of the time we do it, you know, during lunchtime. But because of that, as says, he loves it. He loves it. Toasty. He loves a toasty. He loves cheese on toast. He loves peanut butter toast. He loves that kind of stuff. He's quite happy. I mean, like, sometimes we do big. Like tonight, he's had stew and dumpling, which was quite a hearty meal for an evening meal. So we do swap it around occasionally, and occasionally we have the bigger meal in the evening. But it's just, as we fancy. He had fish fingers today at school, so he had fish fingers and chips and beans or whatever at school, and then came home and had stew and dumplings, which was one of the trays that I made, and put in. Just basically took out the freezer and put in the oven. That was pre-made. We've got a load of pots to wash though. I was going to do them this evening, and I just can't be bothered. I think the word is hurting. That's the only way I could put it. I'm having a bit of EDS and fibro clashing again. And I was walking the dog literally 2 days ago now, and as I was walking along, I could actually feel the front of my thighs pulling and ripping, which I wasn't sure whether it was the muscles or the ligaments, because it was around my knee upwards. And I was like, oh God, please no. Anyway, I got home, tried to do some stuff that afternoon, failed miserably. Actually, I went into town and got some stuff done in town, but then came home and failed miserably to do anything else because I started to feel really tired and really weak. And then the next day, literally got up, and the pain in my feet and my legs. And the only way I can put it to people, if you don't have fibro, is, do you know when you have really bad cramp and you've rubbed away the initial shocking pain, you have that really dull aching pain? That with a pin sensation, like somebody's putting pins in your actual feet, and you know what I mean, like somebody's actually stabbing you with pins and stuff, is what the fibro feels like to me. I say to people it's like really bad after cramp. But then I've got the EDS on top of that, and that's like a really bad ripping sensation because my ligaments move and things like that. And sometimes I can lie in bed and dislocate and things like that, which people don't believe. And my husband knows, Eno knows, he's experienced it. But I can literally lie in bed and go, oh, my ankle's just slipped out of socket because somebody just pushed that back in. It's not so painful for me because my ligaments are stretchy, just to pop it back in. It hurts, but nowhere near as enough as somebody else who doesn't have the ability to manipulate their limbs as much as I do. But the ripping sensation, if you get that, which is what I got the other day, it hurts like hell. Well, last night I could not sleep for the love nor money because all down the base of my spine, all down the front of my legs, just this ripping and the dull aching and the pins sensation. And I'm starting to go, oh dear. So I'm having a really bad time of it, fibro-wise at the moment, and EDS-wise at the moment, which is not good. But yeah, which has really also been quite funny because today we had blockages going across the dining room as Steve was moving things in and out. And I had to climb to come in here, and he was like, are you okay to climb in here? And I was like, to be honest with you, I'm more likely to fall and break my ankle from just standing still than I am from climbing over anything. So it doesn't make any difference. I'm fine. But yeah, I'm struggling. The 100-meter lunchtime hurdles, it really has been. We were literally, can you go this way? I'll step over that way. You step over there. I need to jump over this bit. You go over there. We were literally, because like Leo was trying to do something as I was trying to do something, and it was just chaos. As we were both trying to jump over these hurdles back and forth to each other. But but I said to Steve, I'm more likely to fall and break my ankle just walking down the street than I am climbing over something. I'm just as at risk, if you know what I mean. My body will do what it wants to do. But I have what is known as a bad gait, an impressionable gait, or something stupid like that, which means basically I walk funny anyway. And apparently, for us it was a one-off, but probably how Usain Bolt has his kitchen all the time. You think Usain Bolt has his kitchen with like hurdles set up everywhere? Because he's not a hurdler. Colin Jackson, back in the 80s, yeah, he was a hurdler. Welsh hurdler. Welsh boyo. But, yeah, Usain Bolt's a dasher. He's a sprinter, love. He's not a hurdler. I don't know. But yeah, I know what you mean. A hurdler having the kitchen set up with hurdles constantly through. But you wanted to use the name of a popular athlete. Colin Jackson's a popular athlete. Oh, he's Welsh as well. That boy's won gold medals. How dare you? Anyway, I digress. It's nothing new if anybody's ever watched me. I digress all over the place. But yeah, so I'm having a bad time of it physically at the moment, which is not helping this situation at all because I'm tired. I'm not sleeping properly. I'm in a lot of pain. So I'm lying in bed at night and I'm just lying there like, may as well have said Daley Thompson. True. But Colin Jackson. You played his decathlon on the ZX Spectrum. Colin Jackson was later than Daley Thompson, though. So, you know. Kelly Holmes. I don't know, somebody. Because Kelly Holmes does the 200 metres and hurdles, as far as I know. But yeah, anyway. Right. Your finger still aches sometimes. I told you to go to the hospital with your finger because as somebody who dislocates and has bones causing problems and ligaments causing problems all the time, I knew it would be a problem. And instead of going to the doctor or the walk-in centre or the frigging hospital with this clearly... Oh, you mean your finger still aches from daily... No, I never played it. Sorry. I thought he was on about his finger that he dislocated. Sorry. No, I never played Daley Thompson on the ZX Spectrum. I might have actually and just gone, can't be bothered with this and got rid. You know what I'm like? I've got no patience. I've got no patience. I might have just gone, this is crap, and played it once and gone, fuck that for a game of marbles. I was really, really into Commodore 64 and Football Manager on Commodore 64. That was one of mine. And there was also I can't remember what it was called. This game where a little ball what goes along and there's like holes and you have to kind of move the ball, you know what I mean? And jump them over the holes and move it side to side and stuff. And it had the coolest soundtrack, but I can't remember what it was called. I liked that. It's how you became a programmer. Although for that you only need to write Q. There's a joke in this house, if anybody who's doesn't know me or know, he's a programmer, and I joke that all he does is sit all day and press Q. Q. This isn't working. Press Q. This isn't working. Press Q. Put another Q in it. It'll be fine. I know it's more complicated than that, but that's the joke, that he just sits there all day. We could get one of those little ducks that just goes boom, 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 and put a Q in it, and it'll be fine. Cute. But no, I don't think I ever played the Daily. I think if I did, it says I wasn't that bothered. It says I preferred the ball thing on Commodore 64 and the Football Manager on Commodore 64. There was a few things on the Commodore I liked. It's amazing what you remember from your childhood. I remember putting the bloody tape in and the weird flashy screens of, but yeah, I don't know what that game's called. I'm going to have to find out what that game's called. But you literally bounced along as a bouncy ball. And occasionally, and you had to move from left to right. And it's a very old game. But yeah, anything like that. I remember a tennis game on the Commodore 64 as well. I think I was more Commodore 64 than I was Whiz Ball. It might have been. I don't know without looking at it. Without looking at it, I couldn't tell you, but it had a really cool soundtrack. It was like go dum ba-da-dum 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 as you went along. It was really cool. And you were just this little bouncy ball that went, and there was holes in the road as you went along, and as the speed ups and things like that. But I can't remember what it was called. And then of course we moved on to like Sega's. So I spent a lot of my childhood playing things like Bubble Bubble and Alex Kidd and Sonic and Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Those kind of games. And then things like The Sims came along, and that was it. I was a Sims fan, and that's what I think I found my niche with things like Theme Hospital, Theme Park. There was a game my uncle used to have on his system called Omnicron. I think I've talked to you about this before. But I started playing and really enjoyed playing, and then for some strange reason never finished it or never got the chance to finish it. And I really enjoyed that game. And you were just basically this little dude woobling around the place. That was like you looked like Judge Dredd, but you weren't Judge Dredd. You were just this little police officer dude woobling about the place. Yeah, so I liked games like that. Simon the Sorcerer, those kind of games. So I tend to remember those more than the earlier ZX Spectrum games or the Commodore 64 games. But the ones I do remember on the Commodore was that stupid ball one that would just bounce around, go bum, bada bum, bada bum, bada bum, and the Football Manager game. And I always played as Nottingham Forest because my mum insisted that if I was going to play a Football Manager game, I had to play as Nottingham Forest because, my family's Nottingham Forest obsessed. And for some strange reason, I was dead good at it. I was really, really good. I actually started to believe maybe I could be a Football Manager one day because I was like, yeah, I could do this. Of course, it's far more complicated than they ever did in the games, do you know what I mean? But, you were like, yeah, I could do this. I could be a Football Manager. I could, let me at Accrington Stanley, I'll sort it out. But, no. So, yeah, my weird childhood. But yeah, my dad was more into the ZX Spectrum than I was. And as I said, he'd let us play on the Commodore a lot more because he'd be like, oh, you go and play with that. So we played on the Commodore a lot more. And then, as I said, we moved on to consoles, and then I went back to PC around the time of things like Simon the Sorcerer, Leisure Suit Larry, which I wasn't supposed to be playing because you're supposed to be over 18 to play Leisure Suit Larry, and I could pass the questions dead easily every time, so I used to play Leisure Suit Larry when I was like, do you know what I mean, too young to be playing it. And no clue that the woman upstairs was a prostitute and they were having sex and all this kind of stuff. No clue, but, figured it out later. I was like, oh my god, I played a naughty game. I still love Leisure Suit Larry because it's hilarious. I could never remember how to get the diamond ring, though. There was a way of doing it, and I could never remember how to do it. But I think you gave the wine to the hobo or something, but I can't remember, and he gave you the ring. But anyway, I said Simon the Sorcerer was one of the early games I played. There was this one where you got up as a guy and you went to an airport. You were going on it was like a little animated cartoon. You got up and you went on a bus and then went to the airport. And I never got to finish that one, and I could never remember what that one was called either. Got loads of these weird childhood games that I have no clue what the hell they were. I played so many once I got into proper PC games. And then as The Sims turned up, and that was it. And game over, man, game over. Sims constantly since then. And as I says, I love things like Ghostmaster, and I love things like those proper retro games and Tropico and Theme Hospital. There was one called Hotel. I think it was just called Hotel, and I really liked that one. And there was, as I said to you, there was one on the beach that I remember talking about in a stream once or something, where I was like, like running a beach resort, and that had loads of rave tracks and stuff in it. And I loved the game, but hated the soundtrack. The soundtrack drove me insane. So yeah, there was a few weird games that I got into. But I can't remember playing Daley Thompson. Strange, isn't it? But yeah, anyway, we've been hurdling all day. The cat's come in, ate some food and buggered back off out again. And it's freezing, and I want the cat to come in because it's so frigging cold. And I'm scared. At the moment, I'm still scared and paranoid about losing the other cat after. I know it was an accident. I know it was probably a one-off. I know it's probably never going to happen again. Touch wood. I'm touching wood as I'm doing this. But I am kind of scared of losing the other cat at the moment, which is, making me a bit paranoid and a bit edgy. I think it's still a bit raw that we lost Miles. And we still have Otto, who was our first ever cat, up here somewhere in a little urn thing. So I think we've decided it's time to scatter her now. It's been years and it's time to scatter her. And I think, it's time. But as says, it's put me off having any more pets. I've said to Leo I want a snake or something like that next, and he won't let me have one. And he was like, oh no, we'll have more cats and things in the future. I'm like, I don't think my heart can take it. I honestly don't think it could. I love animals so much, and I would have a house full if I could. And I should really take Leo up on that and go, yeah, let's have some more cats and dogs and things. But I'm actually at that point now in my life where it's like, even though my beliefs about death are actually a little bit different to most people, it still hurts. Do you know what I mean? Me puts himself in Edna mode. No snakes. No snakes, darling. Yeah, darling. I want snakes, darling. No snakes. Snakes, darling. Nice corn snake or something. Or even a gecko. I'll have a leopard gecko. They're only little things. They're only about that big. A little tiny cute gecko. YouTube backslashes. Because you're tired, love. We've had a tiring week. Because I'm a programmer. No, it's because you're tired, love. You don't know what you're doing anymore. Your brain's gone. Bless you. Mine's doing the same. I'm shattered. That's why I'm just trying to get this stream done. So people can have a look at the kitchen. There's cupboards. We have cupboards. Have a little bit of a rant. And then I'm coming back in there and we're going to chill out. Because my knees hurting, my legs are hurting, my back's hurting. I hate my body sometimes. But that's not helping my weight loss either because I can't go walking around and stuff when I'm hurting. And you can't explain to people. Leo was on about this actually. My aunt died recently, my great aunt. And we were on about her husband kept denying anything was wrong. And they ended up, signing a do not resuscitate. She had heart problems. And she was very elderly. But my great uncle was adamant there was nothing wrong. And it caused a situation where, they were ringing the family to sort out do not resuscitate stuff and they had no clue there was anything wrong with her. And I was just like, well, how could they not know, And Leo said, well, technically, who would know other than him about me and about what I go through every day? I mean, I've got a mother who's like trying to persuade me to go and work a full-time job all the time. And I'm like, I can barely move some days. And you can't explain to people, you really can't. It's really difficult. And you sit there thinking, how do you explain to people you have chronic illnesses? You are chronically ill to the point where it's disabling you. But the problem is my weight isn't helping, and I'm aware of that. But I have a thyroid issue, and that's not an excuse, because you can lose weight with a thyroid issue. But it made me complacent, if that makes sense. I kept gaining weight because I was like, well, I've got a thyroid issue, I'm going to gain weight anyway. And I was gaining weight anyway, but I could have gained a lot less than I did. and I got sky high, and then I lost some, and then I got pregnant, and then things changed again, and my hormones changed again, and everything got screwed up again, and this is 4 years down the line, and I've never got back on track. And I'm like, right, I will get back on track. I will get back on track. And I want to do it so I can help my own body, if that makes sense. But then I'm complacent, and I'm lazy, and I'm greedy, and I'm somebody who cannot be trusted around food. And I don't know if that's part of my, because I have a genetic condition, I don't know, which is what causes all my EDS and my thyroid conditions and my autism and all sorts of wonderful, wonderful things. Yeah, you hide biscuits. For real. Yeah, you do. He hides biscuits. And then I beg for them. I beg for them anyway. Like this few weeks, I'm sick of the sight of takeaway because of the kitchen. I tried to batch cook, and we did batch cook, and we've only got a couple of batch cook things left. And now we've got a load of fresh